same thing, occupied status. So like economy. But economy is an astute, mental, purpose-driven conductivity rate. And it's like that with occupation. If you do not believe in yourself, you simply don't believe in anything at all. It's like that with your resources. It's like that with you saying, we don't really believe in God, but if it came to crunch, we'll pull the religious card and we'll blame religion. People that have no respect for people, past or present. Time is the greatest indicator of your future, and people like yourself with such a lackluster approach to time and its commitment, and the counterintelligence measures that see fit a greater outcome, and the one which actually provides the indication period. You people just have too much of a cynical view of what it is to operate well within the ranks and the managerial strength and courtesies of support. There's a kind of deportmentalization or a deportmentalism that goes with every corridor of government, every corridor of provision. Some people carry it like a bum bag that they sift through small talk and backdoor jobs on people, like a deportmentalism. People use it like a crutch-bearing mechanism. They use it like a crutch, like a social crutch. People are very small talk operated. You choreograph your relationships through small talk, conversationalism. It overrides what real conservatism is. Taking 100% of what you got, do the best with what you got, and then assess the percentages, the power, the people, and the prejudices, penalties, and predicaments all at play. Well, how did you get this far without assessing the people, the power, the percentages, the prejudices, the predicaments, and the penalties? Conservatism, 100% of what you got, do the best with what you got. How'd you get this far? You wouldn't have to afford anything if you just had some guts and some determination. Nobody actually owes you people a divisible brain cell. You can appreciate people that conduct certain lines of study or whatnot, but then you don't need any extra time than what you've been given. You either got it or you don't. You either will or you won't. You do or you don't. You can't sort of hand in somebody else's homework and use that for a reputation or a field work or an accreditation that would have saw you not even fit the bill or meet the requirement, service requirement. It's like an incredible human potential in opposed to the wretched human condition of scale. The scale, there's a scale at stake, like operations. You either can operate or you can't. You either know somebody or you don't. You either can achieve it or you can't. Right? The incredible human potential in opposed to the wretched human conditions. You either know what you're working with or you simply don't. You have to make a sound judgment in life. Everything's about a sound judgment. If you don't make a sound quality judgment in every facet, in every goddamn area of lifestyle and choices, like government, like civil responsibility or social, political, scientific, religious responsibility, then that will affect your mercy always, the ability for you to even grant mercy where you need to. That's what it is to be civilly responsible. Mercy triumphs over judgment. That's what it is to confess. That's what it is to be responsible. That's what it is to show provision. That's what it is to show gratitude and gratuity. If you're just gracious in defeat, chalking up your loss and getting on with it. Gracious in defeat, mercy triumphs over judgment. Mercy triumphs over judgment. Mercenaries versus assassins. The difference is you're still breathing. You don't want to take one shot that might affect backlash or further judgment or difficulties or danger headed your way. Mercenary outfits are always more critically inclined or in tuned to provide triumph over assassins or people that just have no goddamn, resilience or what do you say it? Powers. You got people. Some of you people are blessed with life. You're blessed with your position. You're blessed with whatever you have. But like those powers, peoples, percentages, prejudices, predicaments, and penalties, some of you people have also been blessed in this life with time, money, energy, resources, manpower, and intelligence, and still you can't seem to find a way to solve things or process and just get on with life. Get on with something else. Prove to people you can process. Prove to people you can stop it. Prove to people that you have what it takes to adjudicate your circumstance, your operation. If you don't, it would never compensate for the level of output. You cannot just have one person dominate your life and your itinerary. These wouldn't even be found scientific or biological. That is it's absolutely shambolic. The politics surrounding it, or the reasons to even cry, or the reasons to complain or whinge, or forge or falsify history. Trying to claim all chronological history as your own because you've never had any. How do we know that? Through your complacency. Through union activity. Crying helps people resonate. Crying is the oldest war strategy in the book. Like unions cry, sometimes it's the only conversation you have outside of work or inside work. Crying helps provide people a sense of history and proprietary, where it becomes the standard. It provides the new history, the history book that might not have even been there, to see you as equals amongst one another, to find a reason to validate your circumstance, to validate your retrospective fear of the inevitable, or understand the conductivity rate at play where, rather than just dramatize everything, you have a determined outlook or a determined I'll say that familiarities are a fortification. Family is like those who you are familiar with. And that's what it is, your sanctification. To be sanctified. It's very simple in the way English helps allow it through the lettering of the law. Family is like those who you are familiar with. Your people are those in which you spend 24/7 with. That's like your workplace practice. Those people you are indebted to. Those people who you are responsible for. Those people who you have legal custodianship, or you have a legal responsibility to their duty of care and support. They're who your people are. Your statistics, your percentage gain bargaining skills, and all the repetition that flows from it. For you people to be seen and analysed and assessed within your workplace, within the time, within the commitment, within that realm, within everything. There's no reason not to fortify familiarities, or familiarities being the fortification. I'll leave it like this. Loaded weapons of war have fortificational purposes, but they're not fortified if they're loaded. True? True, right. Loaded weapons of war have fortificational purposes, but they're not fortified if they're loaded. The people spend their lives people spend their lives, I'll say that the cost of fortunes are forgotten when people spend their whole lives forgetting the cost. The cost of fortunes are forgotten when people spend their lives forgetting that cost. As if to say, what? You are the fortune. We're all a fortune. So if it doesn't keep well within someone's health and prosperity, or health and justice, then it's self-explanatory. Those who are involved would be found bravely implicated, and it could never be taken or steered outside of that exception. those rules and regulations, the regulatory compliance factors or whatever have it be. You're involved, you're implicated. Therefore, make it your business never to be implicated outside of the control in which your life operates. If you are responsible, you're responsible. You can't use shields. Loaded weapons of war have fortificational purposes, but they're not fortified if they're loaded. It's like saying if the wrong people go down, or the wrong people lose their life, or the wrong people get incriminated through those so-called factualizations, petty as that can be, without the justifiable claim on history and the documentation proofread like an articulated form of history, right? Through justification, mercy triumphs over judgment, right? Then yous would be found anti-Christian or illegal. You'd be found unlawfully involved or criminally conducting unwarranted activity. You would be found perverting the course of justice, perverting the course of nature, perverting the course of freedom. Because just as the freedom of choice can stress others, what about the choice of freedom that others may stress? Like that choice, the ability to fortify the outcome, fortify the means. Familiarities are a fortification. It wouldn't matter for the life of you that you didn't know how to fortify your life or fortify the familiarity which would see a greater outcome, you know, or a more sensible approach to a situation when simplicity would be the key to successful communication. And some people have it too goddamn safe. And some people are just too damn precious. And some people live too damn classified, too damn top secret. Too much provided for. They're too provided for. They've got elder statesmen or whatever, even governments, to provide the infrastructure through taxpayers' money. Last century, they're found having to fulfill work requirements, you know, and whatnot. And they could just simply stem from a background of stereographic upbringing that actually fails the fortified means and purposes that fit well with the kind of honor and the kind of maturity and integrity that will forever see an everlasting binding strength that would never have to see you operate outside the control of which life itself operates. You would just simply have good conduct. Good repetition. It's not amazing to be honest, is it? So therefore, when you just say it like it is, you just tell it like it is. So when it happens, see, I told you so. That's what it is to have things at stake. Prophecy at stake. Prophecy itself, like the Bible, Jesus being the greatest broadcaster that ever lived, Jesus Christ being the greatest broadcaster that ever lived, was just simply honest. You can't break the sound security of honesty. Honesty will always come back to bite people on the ass or put them back on the right track. It's like love itself. True love is like a vie to me. V-I-E. Love is a vie. Love can find you steering you off into the right direction, but as long as it brings you back on path, on the right track, you were always in love. Love is like giving people the ability, give them all your power and the ability to destroy you at the same time. Love conquers all, and yet people aren't necessarily in love with the whole world or love with themselves. They're just in private love. And that's where the world's failing to this point. You're not in love with the world. Love is like an earthly, a planetary discipline in which we're all supposed to strive for. We're supposed to be in love with the world, right? But the reason why the world hasn't conquered itself yet is because people are too much in private love. You're giving it up on one person or one family or a few things. It's not to say that love doesn't stem through areas like that, because it's lovely to share, but maybe there's something more to it than love, because too many people separate and divorce. There's too many broken relationships because it had been forged. Love, in my perfect view, is bigger than your whole house. That's why your relationship breaks up. That's why your family household breaks up. You go see every time there's a goddamn flood that impacts countries like Pakistan or the continent of Europe or even southeast Queensland and the state of Queensland, and then you tell me love isn't bigger than your house? The loveliest thing in the whole wide world is fresh, clean water. And like water, right? That's why love is bigger than your whole house. The greatest transferal of wealth in the history of mankind would be fresh, clean drinking water. And that's what it is to be in love with the planet, love with the whole world. Do what you do, but at the end of the day, it all translates through familiarity and fortification. Loaded weapons of war have fortificational purposes, but they're not fortified if they're loaded. You might think that love is the greatest transferal of wealth. It would never compensate for the level of output because there's just too much goddamn work to be done. Identifying needs and meeting needs all starts back where you talk about advance versus advantage. You might be too busy saying, there's nothing I can do, concentrating on your inabilities, when there's always something you can do. It's those little things that go such a long way in the end. Those little things that have a great impact on people's lives. Those little things that mean nothing to you that might actually be at the heart and core of a person's whole world. Never to underestimate the impact and power that prayers have in people's lives. Enough to do it for long enough and it might see them saved. Or what it is for no great big picture to be solved until all the little things in life are taken care of. That's what it's like in your electorate. That's what it's like in politics in general. You see what I mean? There's no greater mediator than example. And you will know them by their conductivity rate. You will know them by simply their ability to fortify their means and their outcome and their purpose. This is where it hurts. It's gut-wrenching. It's demoralizing. You people know you bravely involve and implicate yourself, but to cry war and not accept the conditions that's what do you call it? That's disgraceful. That is disgraceful. Because you mightn't even care about the people that you hurt. Even if it's just one person. How hell-bent or spellbound do you have to be to not just simply do it? Real love actually works when you do things for people you'd rather not do it for. Real love works when you help people and you've got needs yourself. To never operate outside the comfort zone and to know those key elements or those good traits that you have that work, that finds, it's lovely or it works to your advantage. Do what you do, but at the end of the day, it translates. You can't go around hating yourself and you can't go around blaming other people. Responsibility is yours. Responsibility starts with correspondence. Correspondence. It's supposed to be a 24/7 around the clock. And you never, ever, ever fail the use of denomination. Which means for the life of you, people have an advantage and you should never exploit that. Because the core estimate of a primitive worth is far less a concern than a portion of degree. So exploitation and distribution speaks for itself. The core estimate of a primitive worth is far less a concern than a portion of degree. That the better part of valor is discretion, and that responsibility is yours always. So you go ahead and you make a sound judgment. You know? Do you resist? Did you consent? Where's the protection? What about the deed? God gave them over to a debased mind. They didn't retain God in their knowledge, nor were they thankful. They became futile in their thoughts. Their foolish hearts were darkened. Professing to be wise, they became fools. And they exchanged the whole truth for one big lie, which was the one big lie God needed in the end to secure the reason to tell Damien through further scripture in the New Testament, will take no effect on what you're saying, eating, what you're wearing. It's up to them. Mercy triumphs over judgment. They went on to worship the creature or creature comforts rather than the creator or creation, like the creator's creation, like my intellectual property, like stealing from the canvassing partners in the universe, like stealing from each other, like crying poor by not providing an outcome, provisions, processes, key administration, remote guarantee, everything that provides a defined outcome or a worthwhile outcome. Who, contrary to public opinion or global notoriety, he's blessed forever. So I guess if there's one more proverb that I'll leave it with, I guess I'll say, to sum all that up, it's like saying, opportunity is exactly the reminder, isn't it? There we go. Opportunity. Opportunity, opportunity. Reality doesn't bite, reality strikes. Opportunity comes, knocks. Opportunity knocks. Reality doesn't bite, reality strikes. Opportunity comes knocking and beckoning. You can knock on wood, but you can knock on an opinion. It's like knowing what double standards are or double-mindedness is. What double standards are. Double-mindedness. Saying what's good for the goose is good for the gander. At what point do people provide their victim's impact statement, be held under oath, and then see, okay, well, what's good for the goddamn goose laying the golden egg is good for the propagandists, like network propaganda, good for them to put them on the platform and to see that it gives everybody what they want. Now, if you can't afford that, or you don't have the guts or the grit or the determination to see that out, then like the circumstances at play, evidence, right? Then I guess that's like capping it off by saying, well, you know, that power is the knowledge of pure sanity. Power is the knowledge of pure sanity. Power. That envy itself is the fuel and power behind all vindictiveness, and any vindication that can actually stem or flow from it as a result. So power is, in fact, the knowledge of pure sanity. Sane people, or just sane. Vanity, cleanliness is next to godliness, right? So if that's the case, then I'm sure vanity is next to vanity is next to sanity. If cleanliness is next to godliness, vanity is next to sanity. Vanity of vanity, all is vanity, it says in the book of Ecclesiastes. That we are to reverently fear the Lord. And what it is to reverently fear the truth. Or what it is to understand that age-old ecclesiastical court setting where God would have set it up that way through his second coming. The ecclesiastical court setting was held within that perimeter. It was held underneath the heavens above. It was the greater witness held against us all. It's in a space that is outside of my jurisdiction and outside everybody else's. If you believe in God, that's one thing. If you don't believe in yourself and your resources, like a people, like a country, right, like provisions, if you don't believe in yourself and your provisions and your resources, time, energy, manpower, intelligence, all that in the works, then you don't believe in anything. You people have pissed off into a corridor of thinking where it expels itself. It's a pooled blank space modification, barricading yourself in somebody's life, holding them hostage, and using clinch mechanism factors of like an alibi or an excuse to find a thread of excuse in which to point the finger like retards. Retardation, slowing down that process, slow poachers, slow coaches, and like the 19th year. You must actually be those retarded kids from the controversial 20th century film The Darwin Conspiracy, starring Damien. Because you people obviously do use retardation, having stepped up from being morons to now full-blown idiots. All I can really say is congratulations, you're up 2 points. One more year, you'd get a 20-year certificate service from the throne for 20 years service to retardation. How much time do you need? If you fail the throne, you dishonor the throne. You dishonor the throne, you fail the throne. It wouldn't matter if it's your own, trying to make one. Service is service, honor is honor. Power is power. You know, you don't cry, you can't cry the kingdom come. You cannot cry your way to kingdom come. Crying, decreeing, crying, war cries, battle cries, war cries, battle cries, public outcries, decrying, decreeing, crying, 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 crier, crying, public outcries, decrying, crying, battle cries, public outcries, war cries. It wouldn't be your life on the line. It'd be a silly little telltale conformity outside of you know the heads. Entitlement. You don't get to say you're adults when we're all children. You say you're adults like a sense of entitlement. Next minute you're going to tell us your title. Then you're going to tell us your entitlements. Next minute you're going to tell me you're off this planet. And the last I checked, everything relates to human affiliation, human power, human involvement. Humans rape, commit murder, corruption, embezzlement, covetousness, false witness, theft, stealing, forgery. The list goes on. You want me to keep going? So it isn't the fucking mystified spirits or the realm we piss in the wind to. You have to take some responsibility on yourself and knowing where you can meet needs, you meet needs. Some people might need your help more than ever. And all it requires is meeting them halfway. All things are possible with God. And God needed a human subject in order to provide that distance. If it wasn't the case, God not being the author of confusion and knowing what you're entrapped in here, or in entailment, right, then it would have said to God. But it means with God. So it has to be with God in order for it to be possible. That even goes with your relationship or what it is to be able to provide. Conveyed lifestyle of truth. Truth has to be met with truth. There's no inordinance or inaccuracy when it comes to the plot and scheme, if you want to call it, to life in general. We are a life form based on accuracy and truth. And that relates to numbers too. We're a mathematical life form, being a bacterial life form that does nothing but deteriorate and distribute and like spread stuff. Cell 1, cell a million. Born into a world where that concept says that we don't even have concept. We don't even know concept. We're born into a world without concept. We rely on education to do it. And some people actually left school because supposedly the world needed them or some other concept needed them. If it's bad enough to understand that. So like cell 1, cell a million, you people will grab a concept, stack it up by the millions and go and distribute it and spread it throughout the whole world. And you think it's normal. And for some of you people, it might just provide your bacterial, upkept, bipedal, your bipedal, bloody, upkept, bloody lifestyle. I don't know how to say that, but you don't have concept. So you just require on sort of attaining it. Or sort of stealing it or selling it or just selling something anyway. It's a shitty business to keep up at pace with a financial security or a lifestyle and an itinerary to boot. But like that itinerary shortfall or that itinerant shortfall, right, you've either got it or you don't have it. So you know when you're using somebody else for a forged outcome. Using the Lord's name in vain is no different than trying to claim all chronological history as your own. especially when you can actually resolve your life as it is. That wouldn't be sort of contained within a life, death, and resurrection manual of law and order. It's very simple. Peace and restoration works no different. Of what it is to identify needs and meet needs. So you'd know them if they were using it like a crutch, pedaling a crutch, trying to get off on a crutch charge, right? You can never replace a weak step. And like your step, one after the other, your past is your future. So it's like that with our provisions and our resources. You want change, you've got to provide change, and then change will come. Very simple to translate. Same thing, occupied status. So like economy, like